Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the rise of the micro brands.
Lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm, lunch with Norm.
All right, so for today, you definitely want to hang tight. We've got a couple of really big announcements that we're going to be talking about. And we've got an incredible guest. So in today's show, we're going to be talking with copywriting expert Diane Boerstler. Diane, I hope I got your name right. And anyways, Diane is a top 1,000% internationally ranked business growth expert who's generated, get this, more than 5 billion, that's with a B, in profits for small companies globally. So today we're going to be talking about what to do in copywriting, what not to do, what are some big mistakes. So it's going to be a real interesting show, so stay tuned. But before we get to that, where is Kelsey?
Hello.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, how is it going?
It's going very good. Hey, I see a few people rolling in. Dr. Kaz, good to see you. Mark, Darwin, Rod, Baptiste, Fatia, Facebook user. Not sure who that is. You'll find out, though.
I'll find out who that is.
All right.
We'll find them out. But yes, we got lots to go over today.
When are you going to unveil the...
Now. So first of all, we do have a really great prize for the podcast today.
Yes.
So stick around for that. I think you guys will really enjoy it, or at least one of you will really enjoy it. But if you've noticed on our social media, we've got a big contest happening. We're giving away AirPods, one pair of AirPods.
AirPod Max or AirPod Pros. Yeah, AirPod Pros, right?
Are they pros?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Why not?
I gotta add that in. But yeah, it's going for 2 weeks, and the winner is going to be announced on our special fan episode. So I've been messaging some fans, and we're gonna have a bunch of fans on the show.
That's gonna be really cool, by the way.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. That's January 22nd. So if you guys haven't, go to our social media, press on the link for the contest, and it's super easy. And yeah, maybe get a pair of AirPods, Huh?
Oh, I like how you do that. You're like a runway model.
Yeah.
Do it again. Oh, very good. Yeah, so you know what? This is it's a great way to expand our community. Check it out. Kelsey put this all together, and I think they're going to be great. So yeah, and good luck to everybody for the AirPod Pros contest. All right, yeah.
So my question about what's an AirPod Pro. AirPod Pro has noise canceling.
Right.
So, yeah, there's the settings that you can take out all the noise.
Yeah.
And U.S. residents only.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, guys. I can't even apply. So, all right. So, look, if you're listening to this episode, if this is on a replay, you can just skip ahead and go right into the meat of the podcast. If you're listening to this on my profile page, just go over to Norm Farrar. Oh, you've changed this now. It was Norm Farrar, a.k.a. the Beard Guy. Now I think it's just Lunch with Norm, right?
That's right.
That's the fan page?
It's the Lunch with Norm podcast.
All right. So anyways, go over there and you can see full episodes, highlights, and all sorts of different content. By the way, guys, it's Friday. So if I know on Monday, we are distributing a newsletter that does not suck. Subscribe to it. You'll get this week's and then you'll get next week's. So check it out. You can just go to either Lunch with Norm or normanfarrar.com and you'll see the subscribe button. So I think that's it from my side. Kels, what about from you?
Yeah, that's it. Just enjoy the show, everyone.
All right. So one more time, if you do have a question, throw it over into the comments section. We will try to get to it. And if we can't get to it, we will answer it after the show. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show.
Hi.
Hello, Diane.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
That's awesome. Hey, why don't we talk a little bit about you and a bit about your background?
Sure. So I'm Diane Boerstler. I have several master's degrees that don't matter. The one that everybody seems to really like is the one that's more on the side of neurolinguistics and the psychology side. I have, let's see here, I started doing this, what I called this, which is kind of all around business growth consulting, and then also writing words that sell things about, I want to say 12 years ago now, when I was kind of pushed off a cliff. I had a 26-weeker, right? So she's in the NICU for about 4 months, and I had to make a decision. Do I stay with running this massive organization that I was running at the time, or do I leap out there off of a cliff and start my own business with no idea with what, about what I'm doing? And just kind of grew from there. I actually started off at that point in time, I think, in real estate investment, and then moved into sales copy and consulting pretty quickly, because I realized that the words that I was writing and the advice I was giving people was making them a lot more money for these real estate investing companies than what I was making personally in trying to flip houses and things like that. So yeah. And that's not even where I started. Actually, I started when I was 6 years old. I had my first business, and it was picking up rocks out of people's yards. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, I've always just been that way. Like, find a problem, solve it, make money off of it. So yeah, I mean, because we were really, really, people talk about being dirt poor, right? We were not dirt poor. Like, we didn't even have dirt. So yeah, kind of rose up from absolutely nothing to helping create more than, actually, I think at last tally, it's more than 6 billion.
Really?
For small
That's
businesses
fantastic.
globally. Yeah. So all little, family. I really like the family-oriented businesses.
So dirt to rocks to $5-6 billion worth of profit. Nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The first time I saw you, I think it was on the Illuminati. You were talking with either Kevin or Manny Coates. That's what it was. Yeah.
Kevin and Manny are awesome.
Yeah. So that's where and when I first listened to you, I was just, my mouth dropped, like just listening to what you were saying and what you were doing. That was so different than all these other copywriters. And we have had great copywriters on this podcast.
Oh yeah.
But you approach this just a little bit differently, don't you?
I do. My background is in, I guess you would say, neurolinguistics and abnormal psychology. And a lot of that has to do with, this is going to sound awful, and I'm not saying this is the right thing to do, but the psychology of manipulation. And so what you learn along that pathway is how covert government agencies, everything from, and I'm not sounding again like a conspiracy theorist, but covert government agencies to, mass murderers, to these cult leaders, to, these big people like Tony Robbins, how they leverage specific phrases and words and tactics to get these huge mass followings, right? And I figured that if we can do that, if somebody like that can get a huge mass following, they can get people to do exactly what they want to do, even things that are illegal, how cool would it be if we could take this stuff and use it to help small business owners make more money online, actually serving people the right way, right? So it's kind of like trying to take something that's not that's something that's very, on the edge and maybe not necessarily useful in society on that side of things, and turn it into something good. So
we talk a lot about perception, and people look at perception sometimes as deception, and it's not at all. All you're doing is and that's exactly, I think, what you're talking about is, you're just showing people how to use your words to grab somebody's interest and become either a fan or a passionate customer. How about that?
A passionate customer, a brand ambassador, someone who's going to buy your product. And I mean, copywriting is like, I wish I could say, I'm just a top copywriter, right? But like, for example, I write words that sell things, and that's a lot of what I get paid for. But most people, when they approach me because they have a problem, and I end up in a consulting role, even though I'm not charging them for that. And the end goal is like what they pay me for are the words that sell things. But people get themselves in all kinds of pickles, and kind of it plays into that too, because they can't think beyond what they know, right? So a lot of people think they're their own customer, and that starts getting them in trouble, or they think they need a position like their competitors, and that really gets them in trouble. Then they just become white noise. So I actually have a 126-point checklist that I go through for every problem and every piece of sales copy and every funnel blueprint that I create for people, every business growth strategy, because there's a lot more than just what we see in front of us. There's a lot going on up here in people's heads. So, and we got to get to here, and also, I mean, obviously their heart, but really to their head to sell them. So
there's a there's a mixture of people on this podcast. So you've got the
Okay.
people that are newbies. They're brand new to ecom.
Good job, guys.
This is a COVID project, and this is an act for those people. Congratulations, because you're entering into a world right now that I don't think is like any other period of time where you can go in with very little inventory or investment and be profitable. And that all depends on what you buy and all that other stuff. But we also got the intermediate sellers, and we've got the advanced sellers.
Super high level
I
guys.
can see, I can see a few of them on the chat right now. But for those people who are coming out and they're looking at, okay, should I write this copy myself? I talk about spending money the right way. There's a right time to spend money and a wrong time. Do you think right off the bat, if you're new to Amazon, should you be going to a copywriter like yourself and getting you to write the copy, or save the money?
That's a really great question. So I think that my stats were about 36% of people who start on Amazon are starting on a shoestring budget, right? So what I did, I want to say like 3 years ago, is I created this, it's like a 12-hour long training program for copywriters or for people who are launching on Amazon or any kind of e-commerce store, that's free on YouTube. And that's where I try to send people first, because if you can't pay your rent and you can't pay or your mortgage and you're struggling to pay your car payment and you're just now getting started and you're one of those bootstrappers who's like, I'm going to go from underdog to rising, I would suggest that you try to find something that's free that you can learn from and create it in under a day, right? Because you need to feed your kids before you go and you hire a copywriter. For everybody else, if you're more time oriented and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm a professional and I make great money, I would absolutely take advantage of hiring a copywriter, and hopefully one that actually double check and make sure they understand the strategy behind business growth, double check and make sure they understand Amazon compliance. If you're in supplements, FDA compliance is really important, because all of that can fall back on you. And make sure they understand. I mean, you don't want just to hire somebody who writes words, right? So there's a lot of copywriters out there, right? People who say, I write words who sell things. Okay, it's a copywriter essentially. But if you come to them and you have the wrong idea, the wrong angle, the wrong positioning for your product, you don't understand your benefits and how they create a transformation, you're still going to be out the money, because you're competing against people who are hiring people who understand the whole system of sales and the system of psychology, right? So don't just hire a copywriter. Make sure that you're hiring, and there's probably 20 of us who are really, really good at what we do, specifically in e-commerce and Amazon. And then also we all 20 of us have businesses on the services side as well.
Right.
So yeah, so we're never just e-com or Amazon. We have, when you're good at it, you're good at it. And you can sell anything to anybody. That's the other thing. Make sure that your copywriter, if you don't know, make sure that they understand how to structure an offer, right? How to structure a launch. Because otherwise, if you're just getting words that sell things, you're not going to have the same, chain link affinity down, and you're going to have like blocks in your essential sales funnel. And Amazon is part of a sales funnel, of a mental sales funnel. So,
one of the things that just came to mind, you can spend the money, and I tell people this for images. So they can take a picture with their iPhone, they can go to a crappy photographer, or they can spend the money on a really great photographer. And when you're crafting, and I mean crafting a title or the bullet points to engage people or get people, one of the things, people spend a lot of time on horrible keyword research.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I look at listings and I go, oh my gosh.
Keywords. Yeah.
These keywords don't convert. So what's the difference about finding in your keyword research keywords that convert and just using keywords with lots of search volume?
Okay, that's a really good question. So let's start with the softwares, right? So there's a lot of softwares out there that say, we have direct access to the algorithm, we have direct access to AWS. There are a couple from my understanding that do, but the cost to even access AWS and integrate it with Google Cloud is $150,000 a month minimum. Okay. And that's if you have a volume of like 1,000 people who are going through and using that. Okay. So that's each person paying $15,000 a month to get access to that data. As you can imagine, those $100 a month software services, they don't really have access to all of that data. Not correct data. They have what we call assumptive data, right? So if you're going to use those and you're looking at volume's not spot on. the biggest thing to think about when you're talking about keywords, and I have another beef with keywords, but I'll answer your question first, is that, success leaves clues, right? So if you see, if you go to page one for the keyword that has the highest volume, and you see that your competitors are all using specific keywords in their titles and their bullet points, those are generally the keywords you want to look at using right out of the gate until you can afford somebody who actually understands keywords analytics, the quantitative side of the data, and can tell you which keywords to pick, right? Because it's a lot more than a lot of people go and those softwares are great, right? They're awesome, but they go and they pick out keyword that they spit out a list of keywords and it says search volume in this little column right there. And it says search volume is like this, right? That data was often pulled in like a second, and it's an estimate, right? Based on the number of sales that we think estimated a listing is getting. Okay, based on their rank on a page. Sorry, my background was actually, I went to college for stats. One of my majors was stats. So like for me, and analytics, so I'm like, okay, here's the numbers. Can you see the numbers? They're in front of me. I know you can't see them. So, definitely look at the success on the page. Success leaves clues. Start jotting down from there. And then the other thing is, I have a favorite software that I use where I can go and see all of the side keywords as well via the ASIN. So look for keywords like, during advertising, look for keywords. Obviously, some people don't know this. Maybe this is more for the newbies, like brand, or I like to call them affinity keywords or outside keywords, right? So you're not just looking for the keywords that have high search volumes based on a list that something spit out. You're looking for the keywords that target 3 of the 5 levels of customer awareness, right? So what are the people who are new to this going to be looking for, right? So are they searching for things like, we ranked somebody on like page 1 of Google for a really competitive product because we did how to eliminate wrinkles in the copy. And it was ranked by Google, because it's not just Amazon that ranks these keywords, right? It's nothing to think about. There's more than Amazon you're ranking for here.
Right.
What are the people who are skeptical going to think? What are the keywords they're going to use? That's like customer awareness level 5. What are these people looking for a specific product? Keywords are product specific. That's customer awareness level 2. Where they've already decided, right, that they're going to find a certain product, like they want to lose fat, right? Are they going to be looking for, which we can't advertise on Amazon anymore, a fat supplement, like a fat blasting supplement, or are they going to be looking for a foam roller, or are they going to be looking for a, what do you call those strips? Like the tummy fat burning strips, or one of those little things you stick around your stomach that kind of vibrates, right? Like the muscle ab toners. All those are affinity products that you can be advertising for to pull in more keywords or pull in more traffic. And a lot of times you're dealing with people on Amazon who are customer awareness level 3, right? And that's actually your biggest low-hanging fruit on Amazon, right? Customer awareness level 3 are the people who know they have a problem, right? And they know there are like 10 different solutions to fix it, like a supplement, a weight loss belt, those fat deteriorating creams, or cellulite creams. They know that there's like, let's see here, like they could be looking for specific workout videos. Those are all people you're still trying to convince that not only your specific brand name product is going to solve their problem, but that a product of that type is going to solve that problem. So if you dig deeper into keywords and you start looking for what else might they buy to solve this problem, you're going to find a lot of keywords that no one is even measuring for on those softwares, right? And so, like I said, I call those affinity keywords. And a lot of times we can rank somebody who has, we can sell, 1,000 foam rollers based on, someone who's looking for an exercise band, right? Because, and it doesn't show that. It doesn't show a lot of times like that person, we know as people who've been in business growth for over a decade that they're often looking for something else, that customer awareness level 3. And so and we think about that more positioning and sales copywriting too. Who else are we speaking to? We're always speaking to one person, but to sell them, but who else do we want to fall into the funnel? Because the funnel gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more you think about the customer awareness levels and, which keywords you're using and affinity keywords you're using, and the how-to DIY keywords, like how do I eliminate eye wrinkles, do-it-yourself creams for eye wrinkles, things like that. So. Yeah, not to dump a ton of information on you at one time, but
that was great, because a lot of people don't realize that, and we've talked about this with toe wart remover and how to spread that out, with all these other keywords
Toe work, that's good. Yeah.
that people wanted to buy the product, or they didn't even think of buying the product until you started, making it and talking to these other people. And the other thing, I don't know if you've ever used this. Like, I love Helium 10. I use it all the time. But there's another tool out there from Troy Johnson, Seller Tools. And one of the key features that they have that I love is that you can put in this whack of keywords. And let's say it's bully sticks. So bully sticks it is a buying keyword, but it's 200,000 search volume. But you can have all these other keywords. I call them primary long tails, like grass-fed bully sticks, organic bully sticks, whatever it is. Some might have 20,000 search volume. Some might have 5,000 search volume. Some might have 250 search volume. The one with 250 or 5,000 outperform the 200.
Saturation.
Yeah.
Saturation. I have a whole spreadsheet I can send somebody if they want to figure out what the saturation is of a keyword or a product. Like, that's part of how we source products, how I help people source products.
That is incredible. And I've got to talk to you after this then. But, with that tool, we have been able to, like, really, it changes your profitability. And it changes your profitability, I wouldn't say overnight. Give Amazon 2 weeks, and you're going to see some different results by words that really convert, not words that you think you convert, or not words that you see with your competitors, because they might not be using these keywords.
They don't know about those. That's just where you start.
Exactly.
That's just where you start. Yeah. And you're going a little bit deeper on that. Yep.
Yeah. So, and on that, so let's talk a little bit about, and you already touched on it, but copycatting your competitors.
Okay. So let's just say you're selling something that you by chance didn't create yourself. Okay. We call that, it's probably most people in the world at this point in time. We call that, private label selling, right? So you have to take this product and, you have to position it. Okay. A lot of people, when they're going into, Amazon or e-com, or they're advertising on Facebook, they say, okay, well, success leaves clues. It absolutely does. But when you're looking at a product, a lot of people aren't thinking about positioning. They're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to compete against these guys. I'm going to make a product just like them because I see that they're the top seller in this, right? Hold on for just a second. So here. Are you there? Sorry about that. Real estate investment deal going on today too. So there's like people calling through. So sorry, we were talking about positioning. Okay. So for positioning, if you try to copy everybody else, right? Let's say that you're selling in supplements and you're trying to copy Sports Research Institute, which is great brand, great product, right? I see a lot of sellers come in and say, well, we're going to copy Sports Research Institute, and we want to copy Genius, and we want to copy, all these top dogs, right? You're just going to come across as white noise, and you're trying to compete and grab their customers when that's really hard to do because they've already locked those customers down. You have to look at where else in the market you can grab a piece of the market share, right? And I don't mean just, like people were coming in 5 years ago saying, well, my product's organic. My product is all natural. My product is okay, but that's been around for, 20 years now. You got to think of something else. What you're thinking of are people's, start trying to think in terms of identity. Okay. So when you start with, have you heard of the 5 logical levels? Norm?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So in deep linguistics, what we look at when we're speaking directly to someone's subconscious mind is we look at these things called 5 logical levels, right? And this actually pertains to human change, if you're going to change a behavior, right? So you have higher power, right? Which we don't really mess with a lot with people because we don't, especially on Amazon. And then you have identity, and then you have beliefs, right? And then you have capabilities, and then you have environment. Okay, so when we're looking at positioning a product and we're looking at those last 4 on that 5, I feel like I keep leaving it. Okay, there we go. Those last 4 on that 5, we're looking at their identity. Are they a biker? Are they going to get tattoos? Are they, because even a fitness person, right? Someone who's like really into the gym isn't necessarily just into the gym. That's not all of who they are. So if you go to Facebook and you start plugging in the, Facebook, what is it called? The Facebook, they keep changing the name of it, but right now I think it's Facebook Audience Insights, something like that. If you go there, you can go and look at people's other things that they consider part of their identity. So, and you can dig pretty deep on that now too. So if you go to Facebook Audience Insights and you say, okay, I know that this person is into, these 3 fitness, gurus, or they're into this type of fitness. Maybe they're into, maybe they're into Tai Chi, right? What that's going to pull, and you have a product that's going to help with that, right? So you have like these bands that maybe I'm making this up off the top of my head. They help you do perfect formation, right? For Tai Chi or something along those lines. If you type that into Facebook Audience Insights, you'll start seeing that they have other parts of their identity, right? So you start seeing other groups that they're a part of. You can dig down deeper than that and see how active those people are in those groups. And so that starts giving you other ideas for positioning. Because when you're speaking to people, you want to speak to them to their identity first, right? Then you go and you look at the other thing you can do. Oh my gosh, this is such a vast topic. Sorry, I'm over here. Okay.
No problem.
Oh my God. I need a big, like a widescreen camera here, like a bubblefish camera. So the next thing you want to look at beyond identity are their beliefs, right? So their beliefs about themselves, their beliefs about the way the world operates, whether or not they are, and you always want to include things like, are they going towards happiness or are they going away from pain? That's an easy one. Are they the kind of person who needs to see things more than one time? Or are they, instant buyers? There's just, and like I said, I have this in my training program as well. That's why it's 12 hours long. It's like, and that's why I made it free too, because it's a lot for, if someone gets through that, it's like power to the people, like you deserve to know how to do this at that point in time. So look at their identity for positioning. And then, obviously in sales copywriting, we always want to show people how they're capable of doing it, because people's number one fear isn't that they're going to buy a product and it won't work. It's that they're going to buy a product and they can't make it work. Right. So they're worried about them. They're not worried about the product. And that's where people go back and get angry at products, because it's a self-esteem thing. Otherwise, you don't see a piece of plastic on the ground and you get angry at it. Right. But if you trip over it, you're pretty angry at it because it's embarrassing. Like I said, it's a self-esteem identity thing. So identity, beliefs, capabilities, and then environment. Most sales copywriters and most sellers, when they're first starting out, they always think in the terms of environment, right? They think, okay, well, traditional psychology, Freudian psychology, pre-Ericksonian psychology, they said, well, it's the environment. If you change the environment, then you change the child, right? Okay, I'm over here. If you change the environment, you change the child. If you change the environment, you can change somebody's entire life. We now know that it comes from the top down, from higher power and identity. And when you shift that, that's what changes their behaviors, their beliefs, everything else in their life, right? That's what creates success. It's not changing the environment that creates success. You can put your kids through French, piano, whatever, but if they don't have their identity set correctly, it's not going to matter, right? Same thing when you're looking at sales copy, or when you're a new seller and you're looking at positioning your product. If you stick down here in environment, you think, okay, well, this is going to change. It's going to just make their kitchen look beautiful. They're going to, take this every day, and it's going to, keep them from eating, right? Let's say it's like a appetite suppressant, right? Or it works with your leptin cycle or whatever, things we can't technically say, but we use the claim, no claim to say them, the claim, no claim language pattern to say them. That's part of environment, right? We're thinking in sales copy like we change their environment, and you do have to hit on that because that's what people believe, right? But there's a lot more to that when you're actually writing a listing that sells, or when you're writing a sales page that sells, or sales a VSL. We've been doing a ton of VSLs lately, sales emails. So, look at all of that when you're going through positioning your product. And then if that's too much for you, right? I'm going to give you a really simple technique. If that's just way too much for you to go through, hours and hours of video training and figure out, how to position your product correctly. There's something I call the hypnotic feature anchor, right? So I first recognized this, I think it was on an infomercial in the 1980s, 1990s, when I was way back when I was a kid. There was a Hoover commercial, right? And they were talking about the special, like they gave a name to the special thing that the vacuum did. Here's the thing, the vacuum didn't do anything else any better, or it wasn't any more special than any other product that was exactly like it, right? What does a vacuum do?
Sucks dirt.
Sucks up dirt. Okay? It sucks up dirt. Some of them can suck up a bowling ball. When's the last time you needed to suck up a bowling ball? Like, tell me, like, you ever gone around like, I just want to see if this sucks up a bowling ball, right? Like, it doesn't, like, I'm not looking for that. In fact, I want it to not suck up things like that because the kids put their toys around, right? And then my vacuum is toast. Okay. So when you're looking at it, when you're looking at your product and how to position it, write out all the features, go through your competitors, their testimonials, if it's on, off Amazon, go through the reviews if it's on Amazon, and look for words that they're using over and over and over again, right? That the customers are using. Make a spreadsheet. And again, I have a spreadsheet people can grab. There's like free training they can download off Amazon. It has, or not Amazon, off YouTube. YouTube has all of these templates in it, right? So how to create a hypnotic anchor, all of that, right? But I'm just going to give you this brief overview. Make that spreadsheet and start keeping track, like a tally. Like, okay, so people are using, they're saying they pet hair, right? For this vacuum, they're saying doesn't suck up enough, not strong enough, can't get into my thick carpet. Start making that list and checking off and making a tally. And then look at those, see how you can combine one of those words, like the one with the highest number of tallies, or or combine the top two with the highest number of tallies into what I call a hypnotic feature anchor. And then give it, like, add a cool high-tech thing to it, like, like Vortex 3X, like pet sucker, right? I mean, then that's kind of silly, but that's what you're doing when you're creating a hypnotic anchor like that, which is just a really cool name for a feature in your product, is you're anchoring that feature in your customer's brain, and then you're explaining what it does. They're going to go and look for this. Their brain, like, without even realizing, subconsciously is going to go look for that other thing, right? So Vortex 3X pet sucker, pet hair sucker, or something like that. And you don't have to go that hypey or over the top, but this is Hoover we're talking about, right? We stuck up bowling balls. So right. So if you go and you use that, and then you explain just the very basics of what that cool technology means for their life, you're going to get a lot further ahead, because it's going to anchor that name, that hypnotic feature anchor, which is like a brand name feature, right? It's going to anchor into their subconscious mind. Then their subconscious mind, when they're going to look at these other listings, or they're going to look for other products on Google, Jet, Walmart, wherever you're at, or even in services, like if you have a really cool thing, like a hypnotic anchor in your lawn mowing service. I helped my poor lawn mowing guy, and he like tripled his business this summer, right? Guy had 2 lawnmowers. That's it. That's all he had. And now he's got like 6 trucks and a bunch of lawnmowers, right? Because I was like, you have to advertise better. I'm out in the yard, like, okay, you have to advertise better. I can't handle this. Like, your flyer, okay, here's these things, like, great service, but people don't know. Anyhow, I'm going back to the rabbit trail. It'll anchor into these hypnotic anchors will anchor into people's mind. Then when they're going through and looking at your competition, right? Because they're a huge percentage of the population is more than once people. They have to see you more than once, and they have to verify and validate that they're making the right decision. Their brain will be looking for the hypnotic anchor along with the explanation behind it, and they won't see it. And so who do they go back to?
Yeah.
Yeah, they go back to you because they can't find it. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are using hypnotic anchors at this point in time, especially the top sellers, because they've either watched podcasts or webinars, or they figured this out, right? But this is what big brands do. It's a really great way to make your product look like it's thoughtfully designed. It's you've self-created it instead of it being a regular PLR product. Same, here's another hint for that, right? So I'm sure people are thinking, well, but every product, what if you have a private label product or a Me Too product that shows up, in the first, and they all look the same on Google Shop, right? So it's obviously the same product, right? How do you position differently there? Or on Amazon, right? Or on Walmart, and it's obviously like the same exact product, right? And you want to charge $10 more for it, whether it's because you goofed up and you forgot the rule that money starts in the buying phase, right? Just like real estate, the lower you buy, the more profit you're going to make, or you just want to make more money off that product. You can look at your packaging, right? So if you have your packaging and you have your bullet points on your packaging, and you have like a giant seal that that says da-da-da technology, right? Or like have your hypnotic anchor made into a seal. You could do this on Fiverr for like $10 and put it, make it really big on your packaging. That starts to position your product as different, because the consumer can then see that, like, oh, these must be, and we've measured this. This must be the original. Everybody else are copycats. This guy's the original. This guy's the one who created it. He knows what's going on. I'm going to buy the real thing, right? So that just another quick little tip, like to go add to your listings across the internet.
I can see it now. The certification, the Vortex 3 original.
That
Yeah,
sucker.
yeah. You know,
Why not?
really, really great points. Like you're bringing out a lot of information that most people haven't heard about before. It's incredible. Before we go to the next couple of questions,
Okay.
I want to talk a bit more about the giveaway.
Mm,
So right
okay.
now, anybody listening, Diane knows what she's talking about, and she delivers the information a lot different than most people. So
Mhm.
you're giving away $500 worth of copywriting,
Mhm.
and
And
it's
consulting. It always comes with consulting.
okay. And consulting, and all you have to do to enter this giveaway is hashtag I want Diane. So let's get that going. And this is really kind of cool too, because a lot of the times when we're on the podcast, we can't do this outside of United States. So I can
We
even
can
join.
for me though,
That's
right?
what I was going to do.
Okay. Because we're
Yep.
like 50-50 international and US.
Yeah. So there we go. So, you know, if you're outside of the US, you can join this one.
Mhm.
Kelsey, while we're doing this, have there been any questions?
There
Yeah,
have.
hit me with them.
You're going to
So-
get nailed. Diane, you're going to get nailed.
That's
Yeah,
great. I love
this
questions.
kind of question. So Lisa's asking, which tools do you use exactly for your keyword research for your copy?
Oh my gosh. So I use a multitude of keywords. I use obviously Helium 10. I love merchant words because of a couple things I can do there that I don't do anywhere
Okay,
else.
stop there, Diane.
But
I used to use merchant words. I went away from them for a while. I know that they're doing things different. What is merchant words doing differently now? Like, why do you love them?
okay, so they have these cool little buttons. So if you go and you do a keyword research now, right? And again, these aren't the only two I use. I use like 5+ keyword engines just for Amazon. Then there's several others I use for Google. Like SEMrush. Obviously, you can do Google. You can do. I mean, you can look through the whole world on SEMrush. So one of the things I love is now when you search on merchant words, and I just signed back up with them like a month ago, by the way. And they've had fabulous customer service because I got myself stuck. But if you search for a keyword and you look down the left-hand side by that keyword, you can do deeper dives into it. And there's analytics that show you like so you can tell if it's seasonal or not seasonal. There's like, you can click P1, which is page 1, and it shows you the different products that are ranking for that keyword on page 1 to give you ideas. I've been using merchant words a lot in my consulting where I'm helping people find 6-figure products, right? So, and that's something that about 25% of my time, that's what I do is I help people. And that is a paid, consulting gig. Obviously, That's not like, hey, let me give you all my product ideas because I won't compete. I won't sell products on Amazon or on Jet or anything like that. Usually I do JV, but I won't sell outright because it's a conflict of interest. And if I do JV, it's something really unique that nobody else, it's like a custom created product, right? An invention, okay? So they have this P1, so you can click P1, you can see everything on the on page 1. It's really visual. That's where I go now to get a lot of my like side keywords, my affinity keywords, because they've started pulling them, which I really like. So it just gives me a better, broader idea. And there's other softwares you can use that do something very similar, if not identical. But for me, the interface, the way that it works is I love Helium 10, and I love that one because of the visual. It's just so visual.
Right.
And my brain can take snapshots instead of having to like read through data. Like I love keyword. I think it's keywordtools.io. Is that the one that runs like a million? I just have them I have all the tabs up and I just run it all at the same time and download everything. Then I have a system that I created that compiles them all, right, and runs analytics. Like I created a macro myself so I can pull things out myself. But there's one that runs for like 13-14 hours and gives you like 7 million keywords, and 90% of them no one's ever going to use unless they're from unless they graduated from Harvard or like, I'm trying to think of the equivalent in the UK. I can't think of it right now. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great keyword softwares, but merchant words is where I've been starting now. I used to start on Helium 10, and now I can, because Helium 10 has really great data, right? I mean, I would say that in terms of data, it's about the closest that I found personally that you're going to get from inside sources at Amazon that can actually kind of say, okay, yes, that's correct, right? That's what we're seeing too within our system, right? So I start on merchant words, go to Helium 10, and then I look other places just to make sure I haven't missed anything, basically.
Okay.
More in
Very
this
good.
order. Plus, you remember you have to rank for, you're not just ranking for Amazon, you're ranking for Google, you're ranking on Yahoo search engine, you're ranking on Bing search engine. You want to rank across the board, not just on these platforms that are internal sales, like internal product search engines like Google Shop and Amazon. You want to rank everywhere, right? You want to rank on Facebook. You want to show up you want to write Facebook notes about these products or your services. So those rank. You want to rank on YouTube. You really want to rank on YouTube. If you're not ranking on YouTube, we need to have a conversation. Okay, because that's not that hard to do. And it's a really great place to get sales that go to whichever platform you want. And that traffic counts as, being really valuable for ranking within these other internal sales search engines like Amazon. So if you have external traffic coming from YouTube, Amazon likes that. So does Walmart, I believe. I believe it's Walmart. Yeah. So, but if you're not on YouTube, we need to have a conversation.
Right.
Just so we're on the same page.
Okay. Next question, Kelsey.
Okay, first of all, actually, how do people get in touch with you? Because I think everyone is freaking out right now.
So the easiest way to get in touch with me is through my help desk, and I manage it myself. It's at hypnoticamazoncopywriter.com. Or I don't know if you post anything. Do you post anything below these? Because I can send you information on how to get a hold of me too. Okay. Or Diane at amazonsalesguru.com. I did not make that name up. My client did. They thought it was funny. I ran with it and everybody loved it. So amazonsalesguru.com. I didn't make that up. It's still embarrassing to this day. It's like 5 years old. So yeah, they can get a hold of me there, or you can just, plug my name into Facebook. A lot of people just like popping up on my private messenger, and I'll just answer your questions. It's just like my clients, a lot of times they're more like friends than, when you make people money, they like you, so they're all over my Facebook page too. Anyhow, sorry. Yes, that's how you can get a hold of me. Those are the easiest ways to do it.
Okay. And we will post those links, Kelsey.
Yeah, after I'm done here, I'll post.
Yeah.
Okay. Darwin was asking about the average pricing. Just let me find it. Okay. What is the average pricing for top level writers, full listing, keyword research, and EBC modules?
For me, that would be the Plus package, which I'm currently running at 35% off because it's the beginning of the year and I like to get momentum. So I think, and that for me includes image guidance as well and on-image sales copy, because you need that. Oh my God, I'll go into that in a minute. You need to have copy on your images by your title on Amazon. You need to have copy for your images in your EBC A+ content section. I believe that usually runs between $600 and $800, depending on where I'm at. There are other people who are in the supplement industry or in the harder industries to break through on who charge $10,000 to $15,000. So for something like that, you're probably looking between, I guess, $600 and $15,000, just depending on who you go with. You can go hire somebody on Fiverr and put up what I call that's probably like a temporary listing, right, to gain some traction in terms of keywords. But you're not going to rank well for keywords if you can't convert those keywords into sales. So make sure they can.
I just want to make sure I get this right. If we want to do titles, bullets, A+ pages now.
EBC, yeah.
So yeah, the old EBC. It's roughly around $600 to $800. Is that what you were saying?
With me, yeah. With me, it's $600 to $800.
Okay, very good. That's very reasonable.
Yeah, I would think so. I have a 10x guarantee. So that means that if for some reason you don't make $6,000 to $8,000 back, depending on the price at that point in time, in the next 3 or so months, I go through and we optimize it until you do. So it's not like, and I don't think anybody else is offering a guarantee right now in terms of sales copy and consulting.
Well, Diane, that also includes the Vortex 3 guarantee, right? Or the Vortex 10.
I will come and suck up your pet hair myself. No, I'm just kidding. It really does. I think that just coming from a small business family where everybody owns small businesses, I think guarantees are really important. Mm-hmm. I have a 97% success rate of hitting it out of the gate, that guarantee. Out of the gate. That means 3% of the time I fail and I have to go through and re-optimize. It doesn't mean those people don't make any money. It means that maybe they paid for the full launch package, which is $1,500, and they didn't make $15,000 back. They made $13,000 back. I want people to come tell me because I'm going to figure out how to get them to that 10x. It's an integrity thing in my family. You know what I mean? We don't, we're not going to take somebody's money and not give them value back that's at least 10 times greater. It comes also from, do you know Napoleon Hill?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Think and Grow Rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, so that, I mean, the more you help other people, the more money you make. That's just kind of how it works. Like energetically as well. I love the mindset side of things, the energetic side of things. So
I love that. The more you help people, the more it comes back to you.
yeah, do well by doing good.
Yep, that's right.
That's how it works.
So
Same
Kels,
thing, good products.
all right, Kels. Next
Yep.
question. I'm sure there's a bunch.
Yeah, let's see. Tony had one about brand ambassadors. Let me see. Okay, how can I make our customers into brand ambassadors to post social media content?
That is a really great question. That's one you should PM me for directly, because there's like 7 or 8 different strategies. And it's going to be based on what your goal is, right? That's a whole podcast in and of itself. Like we could do a 2-hour podcast just on here's how you get people to go from not knowing you to loving you so much they have to tell everybody, right? Without having to use, I mean, obviously there's things like contests, like wheel spins, right? These contests, like the giveaways, like, meet your favorite person is obviously a thing. Free program, like that. A lot of people are using contests, but there's other ways to go about doing it where they become brand ambassadors. So definitely PM me on that one.
So Kelsey, we're also going to have to notify Diane to come back on the podcast to talk about that.
Yeah. And yeah, if anyone, I know there's been a great response. Everyone is loving you, Diane. If you guys know someone who is an Amazon seller, e-commerce seller, go ahead and tag them in the comments and let them know, or you can share this episode. But that's a great way to help out a friend or something. So
yeah,
that's
99% of the people are not talking about what we're talking about in today's episode.
And that's why there's only so many people that rank on page 1 on Amazon or on Google, or it's not even about keyword ranking. Like you can't even rank keywords without getting good sales. That's a huge issue that a lot of people have. They're like, free traffic. My goal is free traffic. And I'm like, I love that your goal is free traffic. Nobody's going to give you free traffic unless you have sales first. So let's focus on making dollars turn into baby dollars and even bigger dollars. You want those Benjamin Franklins out there, spitting out babies, right?
Yep.
And then we'll focus on like which keywords to rank for, because once you've got those sales, it's pretty easy to just start like making variations and, ranking for other keywords. And all of a sudden you're dominating because everybody else is trying to hit the big volume keywords. And you've decided, well, this is the strategic way to go about it. I'm going to sell first and pay my electricity bill and take my kids to Disneyland and buy whatever. Hopefully you don't, always save 30% for your business, just so you know, at least 30% to reinvest into your business. But focus on sales, don't focus on keyword ranking right away. That's good. You can relaunch at any time and, rank for other keywords across, Yahoo, Bing, Google, Amazon. You can always rank for keywords again. So
very good.
Okay, from Manny, if you put this big sticker on your package, what words are forbidden? Original, the only, the first. This was back 20 minutes ago, I think.
Okay, so that's a really good question. So there's a loophole here, right? If you go to the USPTO, United States Patent Office, right? And this is if you're selling in the US, every country has one of these, something like it, and you file for like $99 to $199, the tagline, the original or the first or whatever you want to file for. And sometimes you can get them for like $25 to $30 on discount sites. It's not illegal. They can't tell you it's illegal because nobody else has filed for that name. That's a patent name, right? So not to get into legal, I'm not an attorney. I was a paralegal. But that's what that's a loophole around it. The other thing is, unless the way that FCC law works is until somebody contests it and says that you weren't the original, it's true, right? It's not innocent until it's like innocent until proven guilty. So in terms of on Amazon, is that illegal? No, because if you present Amazon with a piece of paper that says, our tagline is the first, the original, right? With those hypnotic anchors, you don't have to have that. You don't have to go to USPTO. You can play around with them and see which ones work best for you on your listing. But, if you're really concerned about it with Amazon, you can go USPTO they outrank Amazon across the board. Like it's the government. They can't, Amazon's big, but they can't tell you, that you can't call your product this, right? That's how that's how you see those top sellers and they're using the word fat burner, right? That's in their product name. They just went to USPTO and spent $99 and got a patent on this is our product name, and Amazon can't tell them they can't use it. So they rank for it.
I've got one that drives me crazy because I am in the bully stick market.
Oh yeah.
And best bully stick.
Mm-hmm.
That's the name of the bully sticks.
Mm-hmm. And Amazon will flag you, but you give them a piece. Usually,
not mine, by the way. Best bully sticks is, and they're killing it. They've probably sold, I don't know, $100 million worth of bully sticks, but you can't even use the word in. I got a letter from them because I said something about the best bully sticks. They came back and said I was in. I had a trademark infringement. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Trademark infringement, cease and desist. Yep. So file the trade. So unless they filed the best bully stick, though. So let's say they filed best bully stick. If you go and file the best bully stick or the best bully sticks, then they can, even though they had the trademark first, they're not infringing on your trademark for best, but you're no longer infringing on theirs on the best stick. I'm not illegal, just something to check into.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Kelly.
And best bully stick.
Oh.
That kind of thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you cut out. You're just hanging for a sec.
Okay. So we had a question about the YouTube. To rank on YouTube, are we just loading a product video or some other advertising methods?
So that's a really great question. I have two answers for that. One, if you're just going to load a product video, go ahead. Make sure it is, best on YouTube. You can't use best. Or top or something, right? And you want to create like a comparison video for these are 3 videos that we've reviewed, and this one, you don't want to make it seem like this is our product and it's the best because we say, right? You want somebody else to say so. You guys want somebody else to say so. The best strategy for this, if you have a brand, is to load not just videos about your product, but brand videos, how-to videos, like how are you solving their problem? What else will solve their problem? For example, like I am in the, don't laugh, tattoo industry with some products, right? So we have a brand person who's going to be launching videos on how to prepare your skin so that the ink saturates better, to, how to set chance to get to avoid the
hold it,
because
Diane,
the whole
you're hanging. I'm not sure what it is, but your Wi-Fi just kicked out.
Oh boy, give me a second here.
Sure,
that's okay. Last time on my last webinar, I was on with Kevin King. Outlet caught on fire, so we're
Oh no,
it did. Yeah, I'm in a rental until I buy a bigger house and sell my other house up on Orcas. Hi, that's my fiance. But Derek, what's up? He just came out to see if I'm still in the podcast.
Oh, okay.
It looks like we're good now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it seems to be okay.
Okay.
All
you
right.
just gave me a thumbs up, like, is everything okay? The internet's being funny. Right, go ahead.
And Kels, was there any more questions?
Yes, there was one actually. I think this is more of a psychological question about colors, but let me see. Someone was asking about what the best color is for a child's product. If I can find it.
Whose parents are you selling to?
Very good.
How old are they?
Yeah.
What's their education level? Are they, because you could almost do like, there's a split in child products, right? There are the parents who are the traditionalists where you have the primary colors, the bright red, the bright blue, the yellow. They tend to be of a little bit older generations, right? Or of generations maybe that come from a different level of education. And then there are the other parents who are always looking to show people that I'm doing what's best for my child. And so that's constantly changing. So we have the group of parents who likes very muted colors and they don't want to overwhelm their child's nervous system. And they don't, so it's really going to depend on who the parents are because they're the ones with the credit card. Now, if you're starting to talk about kids 12 and 13 and older, obviously the more obnoxious, the better. You know what I mean? So like if you could like from like, preteens to younger teens or more neon bright colors, it's great. And then you start to see the split again, just like you do with adults after kids are about 15, 16 years old. They start doing the identity split. So
and I guess this is
versus New York City.
And so I guess this is really identifying those 5 L's, building that persona out. So understanding your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely understand your audience. Yep. And don't assume anybody else knows what your audience is, and that's why you don't copycat, right? So.
Okay, I think this is the last question that's come in for Amazon sellers. What kind of research do you do before writing a listing, or do you expect the clients to provide you with the research?
No, please don't provide me with the research unless you already have it. So I do expect to know what I need images of your. If it's for a product, if it's for a service, I need like your packages, right? I need to know what on your product. If you know what the benefits are to those features, that's great. Most people send benefits, which is very, very awesome because we don't want to automatically assume that a specific benefit and that you want us to talk about that benefit. And when I say us, it's me and 5 kids. Okay, so that's the us going on around here, and a dog and my fiance, right? But then like there are people who do medical research and they already have it. Feel free to send that along. I'm still going to verify it because I don't want you to get in hot water, right? And a lot of people think that there's a source that's like, okay, well, I read on shape.com that, let's see here, like Brazilian grass powder is the most amazing thing on the planet and it helps you lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And so they'll send me that. And I'll say, okay, well, this is not a double-blind, placebo-based gold standard study, and we can't actually cite this. I used to work for the National Science Foundation too, so if you send me a study, I'm gonna check it, right? And I'll look for other studies and things like that for supplements. So I mean, definitely send me any information that you have on it, on the product. I can't do anything if you just send me like 3 features of your product. I can't do anything if you send me the Alibaba link and have me go there and look through that because they're not accurate. You are still legally responsible for any information that you provide that goes into that listing, right? It's still your product. You still need to read your listing and make sure that those are all have. If it changes, I'm now running off of a database called ClickUp. So if something changes while we're mid-project, you just send me an email and so that everything's all in one space. So I can see, okay, this has changed, so it's no longer valid while we're writing the listing. But yeah, I mean, definitely I expect some information. I have a questionnaire that people receive almost immediately after they pay at the website or they pay their invoice. That's all pretty much automated at this point in time. They just fill out the questionnaire. So you know what information you need. You can always pause it and take a PDF snapshot and come back and add more via email. I try to make it really easy, but you definitely need to provide some information. Like you can't just give me, and I've had people do this and they're not real products because it's fun. If you just give me a ball of, like tinfoil, right? I'll come up with a bunch of different ways to sell it, obviously, and I'll come up with the features of it. And I'll come up with features you haven't even imagined about your product. First of all, that's something weird that my brain does, which I think is really cool. But if I then you're like, okay, well, I really wanted to focus on these in your questionnaire, there's going to be a huge time delay on that. We offer 365 days of unlimited edits, but it's kind of like a line. It's first, right? So if you come back and you're like, oh, there are these 10 things I forgot to mention, that's going to require edits and optimization, which is going to take longer time. So that's kind of the reason you want to put down the information up front as much as you can.
Okay.
So there's no time delay on your end, right? So. Yeah.
All right. So I have a pretty simple question, I think. But
Sure.
Earlier on, you went very quickly through the claim, no claim language. Can you explain that just a little bit more? Okay,
so claim, no claim is you're essentially making a claim without making a claim. On Amazon, and according to the FCC and FDA, especially, New Zealand's laws are stricter, so are Australia's, but the FDA in the US specifically, you cannot make a claim about a product, right? You can't make a claim about anything that enter on the body, and that means you can't say directly that this will burn 10 pounds of fat. You can't say directly, this will cure cancer. This will make your pimples go away. This will end your acne, eczema, et cetera, et cetera. So claim, no claim is like a language pattern where you would say something like, well, we can't say, and then make the claim, or well, our lawyers won't let us say, make, and then you make the claim. Thousands of happy customers say, and then, say what the customers would say. So it's in the language of the person who would buy the product, right? So while we can't say, well, our lawyers won't let us say this burns 1,000 pounds of fat in 2 hours. That's obviously ridiculous, but you get the point. Thousands of happy customers say that it's helped them really achieve what they want to see in the mirror, right? So claim, no claim. You can't get in trouble with the FCC, you can't get in trouble with the FDA, and you can't get in trouble with Amazon because you haven't done anything.
Got it.
You've
Love
it. And you've said our lawyers won't let us say this.
All right. So I do have another question here. And it's about desktop versus mobile. Do you have a different language for desktop over mobile?
Different language?
Yeah,
you mean,
is there something to grab somebody's attention?
Or?
So, and again, I think that your Wi-Fi's out a bit because I'm over talking. It looks like you're talking and then I'm over talking you. So sorry about that if I'm interrupting. But yeah, what I'm looking for is, hey, Amazon is a search engine. Most of the time, and it's the majority of the time, people search on their phone first before they buy it. Should we be targeting a specific type of language so that when you're looking on your mobile phone, it's different than that would be like if you were just targeting your desktop? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. So in terms of language, try to put your hypnotic feature anchor, it will use at least one word all cap with your hypnotic feature anchor in your title. That'll help grab attention. On your image, when you're using your image, make sure that you use, if you can, use a box or a that has your bullet points and your seal on it. That'll grab attention. Your goal when you're selling on Amazon is never, ever, ever just to get the sale, right? Mm-hmm. It's like a mass conglomeration of a whole bunch of little sales funnels. So what you're doing is you're trying to get them to click on the title and image first. That's your goal. Can I pique their curiosity? Does this look cool enough? They will look at the price, right? Especially on mobile, where 48% of sales start and end on Amazon, or 48% of all sales online start and end on Amazon in the US. But so then what you want to do is you want to look at your images. So on mobile, right, you have your title on one side, and then you have your images off to that side. I'm trying to do it opposite of me. Okay, so off to this side, right? So when people are looking on mobile, they have to scroll way down through a whole bunch of nonsense and fluff that Amazon decides to just drop on your listing, including competitors, images, and people also bought, and like all these massive distractions, right? It'd be like if you threw a bunch of pictures of puppies and motorcycles in the middle of a sales page. It makes no sense except for to make Amazon money. So when you're on mobile, you have to really focus on creating high converting copy, like power copy, short, punchy, powerful, deep. Sorry, can I say that on here? Precise, right? That's what I think in my brain. This copy on your images to the right by your title, because people are going to see those first. Or they see all this other fluff that Amazon is tossing on there, right? So make sure you have sales copy on your images that's high converting sales copy. Look through, if you don't know what that means, you just need a little help with that. Like look through your competitors' testimonials and their reviews and see which words, like I said, words. Start looking at what people are looking for, right? And put that on your images. A lot of people focus on images, but images without copy is just like having, sticking somebody, I like to think of it this way. An image right there without sales copy is like dropping somebody in court, right? And having the jury just try to guess what it is, what crime they did, and try to, have the judge try to convict them, and then have them try to sentence them without knowing anything at all about the person, the case, or what happened, right? An image is worth 1,000 words, and you only want them to have like 10 out of those 1,000 words. You don't want to leave those other, the other words you don't want to leave their interpretation of the image to chance.
Great.
So use words to frame it.
So we do that. There's a ton of people, and there's on the podcast right now, and there's a ton of people that have been engaging with us. If anybody has a question that they'd like to come on to the podcast and ask Diane directly, please let Kelsey know now, and we'll get you on. We don't normally do this, but we'd love to have you on live if you would like to ask a question. So while that's happening, let's see. All right. So I guess if you had an action step, what would you tell people, like, step one, step two, step three? What should we do first? If and outside of going and saying, "Hey, Diane, will you do my copy for me?"
Yeah, outside of that, yeah.
Yeah.
So action step in order to make more money on Amazon. So more money in your products, or
no, just in your research. So when you're putting together your titles and your copy, are there any action steps that somebody should be taking
to put it together?
To put it together.
Okay. The first thing I always start with personally is going and kind of snooping on other people and groups who would use that product, whether that's with Facebook Audience Insights, going through testimonials and reviews on Amazon, going through and looking at what competitors are doing off Amazon, where they can charge like 3 times more for their product in their sales funnels. So do your research first, obviously. The second thing to do is write everything down, like when you're writing title, bullet points, or sales page or anything, free write. Do not worry about where the keywords are going to go. Do not worry about, what people are going to think of what you're writing. Please don't worry about what people are going to think about what you're writing when you're first free write like 15, 20, 30 bullet points. Okay. They can go on your sales page or on your Amazon page. And don't delete any of that. You're going to need that later. Okay. And then once you have kind of combined your bullet points and gotten them to where you want them, you can start looking at how you can use the rest, like, because your brain's going to prioritize information, right? So, we know that our customers, based on the tally system that we used, are really going to be interested in knowing about these 5 things. It has to have these 5 things. So let's make sure that the things that are the most important are in the space they see first, right? Whether it's the images, or that's the bullet points, or your title, or your headline on your sales page, or the first 10 seconds of your VSL, whatever. And then look at the rest of your information and figure out where you're going to place it in the rest of your listing, sales page, VSL, etc. The last thing you do is you go through and you infuse it with keywords. That's the last thing you do, is keyword infusion. Now, if you're looking for, there's 2 ways to make sure that you get keywords in, that you don't just write bullet points that are keyword free, or a title that's keyword free, et cetera, et cetera. I use the brackets, right? And I write the word keyword in there. That works for me. And then I can go back and fill it in later. Mm-hmm. Other people, because you're going to move your keywords and things around anyway, and you don't want to write with keywords first and then lose the keywords, right? Like, oh, I forgot to include this keyword, right? So use a keyword, or just, let's say it's astaxanthin supplement. Just write the word astaxanthin supplement over and over again. Maybe choose a shorter word, like A.S. right, as you're writing. And then just go back there and replace that with the keywords that you want to use in the way that you want to, the algorithm to pull them, right? So, and then the final thing is always go through everything you do, cut out any fluff you can possibly find, zombie verbs like to be, can be, etc. Make sure you power up every single word. So, instead of saying, this is a nice stool, you would say something like, gorgeous, luxe, stunning, things like that, like power up the word, right. The only thing you get by using words like nice are friends. Okay. You don't get sales from things like that. Right. Okay. And you don't want more friends. You want more money to go hang out with your friends.
Absolutely.
So power up is really important, and then test it. Right. So the first thing, like when you're not a professional sales copywriter, when you don't have like 10 plus years under your belt, you're going to run into this, did I do this right? This analysis paralysis. When you have a title and 5 bullet points in Amazon and a description, throw it up and test it. Give it at least 2 weeks, right? 2 to 3 weeks is what I say. Give it 2 to 3 weeks. You may be just really good at this and not know it. You may be really good. If you have a background in sales, like high ticket sales, especially, you may be really good at sales copywriting and you don't even know it. So trust your gut and go first. And then when you do approach a copywriter, if you decide to do that to get that boost in conversions, and so the boost in sales, then at least you have data for someone to work with, right? So they're like, okay, well, we know that these keywords are working. These keywords weren't working. We know that you were kind of spot on with your audience for this portion, but this is not. And when you're changing things, let's say you're split testing, only change one thing at a time. Don't go through and like if you're doing analytics from split testing your title and all your bullet points and all your images at the same time, and see like, oh, okay, am I getting $1 more per, am I saving $1 per, my advertising spend per sale? You're testing things like only change the title and the bullets, or if you're doing it yourself, change one bullet point at a time, right? See what matters to them. So more than 3 or 5, that's like, hopefully, fewer than 7. When I say fewer, keep it to fewer than 12.
There we go. All right. So it looks like you're almost off the hook, Diane. So Yelchin's got a question.
Ooh,
Almost
back to
off.
the kids.
Almost
Yay.
off. But so
Okay.
Yelchin's question is about the bullet points. So, what type of bullet points do you prefer short or long?
Well, there are a few grandfathered areas where we can only do 100 characters for short. The options usually around 250 to 350. It just depends on who you're speaking to again, right? So, and what type of product it is, what type of explanation. Really, it all boils down to what do you have to say and how much do you have to explain to get people to buy your product, right? You don't want to dump all your features and all the benefits in the bullet points if you have 20 features and 30 benefits, because you're just going to have these long things nobody understands, right? In the supplement world, we've had bullet points that are like 497, 500, because we're listing out ingredients and what they do, right? And people don't always go and read through the description, obviously. They may not, you never know, right? But generally, it's about 250 characters. There are people that it has to be under 100 characters. We've tested that. That's false. People have a firm belief that it has to be. I heard 165 for the title the other day, and like 150 for the bullet points, and people will make up numbers to get clout. That's one of the things that we know is people will make up numbers. They'll make up numbers to have a system because a system adds clout. So I've never personally seen that there's a certain limited number of characters that test out better than others. It's always based on who you're selling, because you're not selling the search engines, you're selling people, right? If the search engine bought your product, then you'd be selling the search engines, and you'd say, this is the best 165 characters I've ever seen in a title, right? So I'm going to buy this. But they're looking at bytes, not at benefits and transformation.
Okay.
So,
Rad, you have a question about emojis in front of the bullet. I don't know if you agree with this, but I look at it as get rid of the emojis. You don't need the emojis if the copy's good.
We have seen it convert in a couple of different areas. One, for the people who are really into things like manga, which are more kids, and then some single adults. Babies. So if you're selling anything for babies, you can use emojis. If you're selling, so anything that's like cutesy, right? Where anybody's gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's a baby blanket. It has a bunny on it, right? Appropriate. If you're selling a supplement, if you're selling, like I said, a lot of businesses dealing with the FDA. If you're selling, anything have really good trust and believability, then I wouldn't use emojis. There's one kind of ishy area, okay? The ishy area are pet supplies. We've seen emojis boost conversions and pet supplies for some. We've seen emoji conversions for some. So it just really depends. But unless it's a lovey-dovey, like you're looking for that warm, fuzzy feeling, generally we leave the emojis out of it.
All right.
The cute ones. Yeah.
Okay. So now you are officially off the hook. How do people get a hold of you if you want to just mention your contact information again?
Sure. The easiest way to get a hold of me is actually, I think it's right there on the screen. Kelsey just posted it. It's hypnotic.amazoncopywriter.com. And that's my help desk for everything from if you want to grow your service business with sales copy and consulting, or your Amazon and e-commerce. I funnel everything through there. I like efficiency, right? Other people, if you know me and you know me for a long time, you probably know it as nlphypnocopy.com. That's been around for a long time too. Same help desk, same person. Okay. So there's multiple brands, but yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me. And, Facebook too, as well. It's just Diane Boerstler on Facebook. So yeah.
Fantastic. You killed it today, Diane.
Oh, thank you.
Now the other thing we have to do is see who won. So Kelsey.
Okay, who won?
Okay, let's see.
Well, let's bring in the wheel of Kelsey.
Okay, we got tons of people entering today.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. I've never seen it before.
All right, and I'll shuffle them up. Okay, so here we go. Wheel of Kelsey in 3, 2, 1.
We're going to have a theme song or something going for this. Wheel of Kelsey.
Tony.
Tony.
Is it Tony Cigar?
Yeah.
Tony, have we worked together before?
Oh, what?
It's going again.
Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, well, I'm gonna wait two. We can do two.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go one.
Okay.
That's like a Fate Universe thing. Why not?
All right.
Tell me who. So you know who it is, so if they email me that
Yeah.
they actually legitimately won.
Okay, it's showing my screen for number
All
2.
right.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
See, now I'm like really into this. I love roulette. Do you guys play? Do you know roulette?
Oh,
I love
yeah.
roulette. I haven't played in like 10 years, but it's like
Oh,
Marcia.
Marcia.
Is that right, Marcia? Marcia?
Marsha.
Yeah.
Very cool. Marcia. Okay, so sorry.
No, very good. Well, these are absolutely great. I mean, they're $500 packages each. So thank you again, Diane, for just providing all the information today. Like I said, you absolutely killed it. So thank you so much.
I had a blast. Thanks for having me on.
All
Thanks
right.
for letting me talk nonstop.
No problem. And we got to get you back on talking about influencers and all that other good stuff. But I will book you right after the show. All right. So I think Kelsey, where are you?
Here I am.
All right. So that's it. Anything else that you want to say?
Yes, so if you guys missed the first part of it, we do have an AirPod contest happening on the social media, so you can find it on the Facebook group, the Lunch with Norm podcast Facebook page, and the Instagram page. Just follow the link, enter it. It's one of those contests where if you subscribe to our YouTube or Instagram, you'll rack up those points. You can, I think, get up to like 30 entries, and you can always come back every day and get an extra point or two as well. So go there. It's got all the information. It's for U.S. residents only, so that's the one thing. And we're just looking to spread the word for Lunch with Norm, and this is one of our little ideas. And
Oh, and you can always hit a like or smash a like or subscribe, ring a bell, all that stuff.
Yeah, sharing this episode to someone that you think could need the help. I think there's like 50 golden nuggets.
Yeah. Diane just kept delivering. So, anyways, one of the things for next week. So let's talk about who's coming up for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know you didn't put it in the notes.
All right.
I looked. You didn't put it in the notes.
So Monday we've got Rob and Don from Accrue Me.
Yep.
So that's that. Let me just pull up. I know Friday we've got a big one. We've got we got Kevin King coming back.
Very good.
And just let me pull up. Oh, it's on my tongue.
One job, Kels. One job.
Usually I just got to do the.
All right.
Okay,
So
Joe Valley.
Oh, Joe Valley. Okay, so Quiet Light. Okay, very good. So we've got 3 really great speakers that are going to come on to talk about everything from finance to, Accrue Me is going to be talking about their new funding app. Joe Valley's going to be talking about evaluations and business, and then you got Kevin King talking about everything. So join us next Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at Eastern Central Time at noon. Or Eastern Standard Time. And are you going to interrupt?
Yeah, one little thing. I haven't read a review yet today. So for anyone that's posted a review, we read a review every episode now. And so this is from Wedgie Man from Australia. Always inspiring. I learned something from every podcast. Very inspiring. Thank you for sharing such good and relevant content. Thank you, Wedgie Man.
All right. And thank you for the review.
All right. And that's it, I think.
That's it?
I'm done. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thanks again for all the engagement. And we'll see you next episode. So have a great day.
Lunch with the